If the last few years haven't felt like chaos, but instead like something quietly locking into place, you're not imagining it. Have you noticed how events arrive already packaged, with villains, emotions, explanations, even solutions, as if the argument was decided before anyone showed up? That's not random, and it doesn't require a conspiracy. And this isn't speculation, it's not a prophecy, it's not a list of things that might happen. This is about something much simpler. What systems always do next when they're under pressure? So instead of asking, what's going to happen in 2026? The better question is, what does a system like this predictably do when incentives tighten and human behavior stays the same? Because once you understand the pressures, the future stops feeling overwhelming and starts making sense. When geopolitical systems tighten, pressure replaces confrontation. Not open war, not escalation, just friction. Small shipping delays, energy constraints, currency pressure, minor cyber disruptions. Each one insignificant on its own. Together, a constant background stress. It won't be called aggression, because the goal isn't conflict. The goal is compliance with changing conditions. At the same time, AI doesn't just replace labor, it replaces identity, music, writing, illustration, voice, video. For a long time, creativity was the last place humans felt irreplaceable. That's gone. Not because AI is better, but because it's cheaper, faster, endlessly compliant, and never pushes back. When creative identity erodes, people don't just lose income, they lose meaning. Loneliness isn't caused by isolation, it's caused by friction. Every conversation costs more than it used to. Politics leak into everything. One wrong sentence can turn a normal interaction into a problem. So people adapt. Fewer close friendships, more surface-level interaction, less risk. And loneliness does something important. It doesn't just make people sad, it makes them suggestible. Loneliness isn't a side effect of what's coming. It's one of the conditions that allows everything else to work. More people will talk to AI about their inner life than to therapists. Not because it's perfect, but because it's always available. It listens without interrupting. It doesn't judge. It doesn't get tired. It doesn't glance at a phone while you're talking. For someone already lonely, that matters. And for many people, it will help just enough to keep using it. That's where the conflict begins. Who owns that data? Who decides what advice is appropriate? And when does guidance quietly become influence? By mid-2026, synthetic content will saturate reality, videos, audio, screenshots, documents, entire events that never happened. And once anything can be faked, everything can be denied. Real video? It's AI. Leaked audio? Deepfake. Documents? Generated. When authenticity becomes expensive to prove, the burden of proof flips. People don't investigate harder. They disengage. And when truth gets noisy, humans fall back on something easier. Tribe, authority, familiar narratives. History shows this pattern every time. There will be an event, or several, that make distance feel reasonable. Not mandatory, not enforced, just sensible. Remote-first defaults, digital check-ins, optional presence framed as progress. Most people won't feel pushed into isolation, they'll feel relieved by it. Because navigating other people is exhausting. And when distance is framed as responsibility or self-care, it becomes permission to do what many already wanted to do. Influence works best when you don't notice it. So when psychological operations become visible, they don't disappear. They move into the environment. Instead of persuading people what to think, systems shape what's available to think with. What content appears, what gets buried, what feels normal to say out loud. Influence doesn't argue anymore, it curates. When creative identity erodes, when trust collapses, when connection feels costly, people stop asking, "How do I succeed?" and start asking, "How do I feel human again?" That's why perspective reset tools, from retreats to psychedelics, move into the mainstream. Not as answers, as symptoms of a meaning vacuum. These aren't 8 separate predictions, they're 8 expressions of the same condition, a system under pressure behaving predictably. This doesn't require coordination at the top, only incentives and human nature. So when something new appears, don't ask if it's good or bad. Ask one thing. Does this feel like a solution or an adjustment? Once you can tell the difference, the future stops feeling overwhelming and starts making sense.